Thanksgiving turkey is in for 2.5 hours. I have been busy up all night cooking. So I have my aunt's mold that we made. I made mac and cheese. I just need to make the topping for it. Fresh mashed potatoes here. And then I was cutting up some vegetables for later on that I'm gonna pop into the oven and roast with some Brussels sprouts. Thanksgiving. I have been up all night with my turkey because we got it and it was frozen. So I've been up all night frosting. It is now in the oven. I'm gonna tidy up, brush my teeth, wash my face. Right now it is 6 a.m. I'm gonna take a couple of hours rest after I finish cleaning, and then I'll check in my turkey at 8:30. And we got a bigger turkey than we wanted. We got a 13-pound turkey because that's all they had left. So we're gonna make do with what we have and hope everything turns out all right. It looks like it's completely thawed, so we're good to go. Alrighty, the bird is done. She got done at 8:30, so an hour later, she is still piping hot. We know she's done because her little thermometer popped out. Easiest cooked in about 2.5 hours, and it should be juicy and ready to serve later on today. Look at how beautiful she is. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Look at her, so beautiful, so special, so precious. All made by me. Okay, Thanksgiving aftermath. We have half a mold. I'm having an extra snack here. We're getting extra turkey. We're getting ready to put that away. We have extra mac and cheese. Kind of looks funky right now, but I'm getting extra slices. We're getting ready to store the extra turkey. And we have pie that we got from Samara. It all came out really delicious. This is the whole mac and cheese on here. Yeah, and everything turned out great. Hey guys, what's up? So I am giving you an update on Thanksgiving, and this is my first Thanksgiving that I have been the primary person making all the food, and honestly the first time that I have made Thanksgiving for my significant other, which is amazing because I was really thinking about like my past long-term relationship, and I could not recall if we ever spent Thanksgiving together, and I don't think we ever did. I think we always kind of did our own separate thing with our families, but this year we both had a conversation about families and what we were going to do, and I honestly did not want to go home for Thanksgiving. Like, no offense to my family, but it's just the traffic's a lot, and I just was not feeling that vibe. In the past 2 years, I have been staying home, and it's really reduced the stress and just my overall experience of enjoying the 4 days off fully and not being like super worried about like traffic and my car and all sorts of things. So anyways, Thanksgiving, let me talk to y'all about what I made, a quick synopsis of the preparation and the things that I learned about making a Thanksgiving turkey for the first time by myself. And I have so much more respect for my mother now. Like, I've always had respect for my mom, but the level of preparation and planning that my mom had to do to make Thanksgiving dinner for, I don't know how many people we had in our family, maybe like 12 people for years on end, and work a full-time job, working nights and getting all that stuff done is amazing. And I just had a small sample, and it was just dinner for two, and how much preparation that took. Whole nother level of understanding and respect. I texted my mom like first thing in the morning when I woke up, and I was like, I have a totally all new respect for your planning ability and being able to provide this like amazing meal. Anyways, so we decided that we were going to spend Thanksgiving together and at home. And so I have been planning. We talked maybe 2 or 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. We planned out our menu and what we wanted. So that was the simplest thing. The hardest part was just for us. I was thinking about going out and just buying all the ingredients, but my guy wanted to be there too, and we wanted to shop together. So that only left us the day before Thanksgiving, which limited us on the type of turkeys that we were going to be able to get. So we ended up going to Sprouts and we got pretty much everything at Sprouts that we needed for dinner. We ended up getting a 13-pound turkey, which was way more than what we needed, but it was all they had left. We were looking more for like a 6 to 8-pound turkey. So we grabbed that and it was frozen, of course. So I was like, okay, well, we got to get this home and we have to start the thawing process, because if we don't thaw this turkey right, it's not going to be ready in, before like 9 o'clock tomorrow. So I wanted to kind of keep family tradition and have dinner early. Our family, we usually would have dinner at 1 o'clock or 2. And that goes back to just my parents working on the holidays. And that's when everyone would get together. And that's kind of just been our typical time, is 1 or 2 o'clock. We got all the fixings. I wanted to make a turkey, which had a Ina Garden, her recipes. And it was really simple. And roasted veggies, mac and cheese. I was trying to replicate a mac and cheese that my niece does, and it came out really good, but it didn't come out as good as hers. And then my aunt's jello mold, her cranberry jello mold, which I followed her recipe, and that's just a family staple that we had to have. And I told my guy, you got to try this, and if you don't like this, this could be a deal breaker, because this is like the family like cranberry sauce, but it's mold. Anyways, so we got the turkey home and we were planning to start doing prep once we got home. And then we started watching some type of movie, some holiday movie, and we both ended up falling asleep on a couch. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get up and I'm going to start getting everything prepped. And so I eventually was like, you know what? You need to go to sleep. And I'm just going to stay up all night and I'm just going to get the turkey ready. So I literally stayed up until 5:30 in the morning, just defrosting the turkey. So I just slept on the couch and would take like 30-minute naps. My alarm would go off. I would get up, and the whole process is that when you thaw a turkey, you thaw it in water. And according to Google, it told me that I needed to change the water, which is cold water, every 30 minutes. And then you turn the turkey and you do that process for a certain amount of time. And so the amount of turkey that we had, 13 pounds of turkey, was like 5.5 to 6 hours worth of thawing. So I stayed up the whole night defrosting that damn turkey, and he went back into his room and he went to sleep. So I just used that quiet time at like 2 o'clock in the morning to just like chop vegetables. I made the mac and cheese and got that prepped for baking. And once the turkey was thawed at 5:30, then I prepped the turkey and put it in the oven. And then I went and I laid down and I went to sleep. And then I woke up like 2.5 hours later, and Thanksgiving turkey was ready. And it came out so beautiful. I was so proud of it. And I just said, I'm going to sacrifice my sleep so that we have a really beautiful, well organized, and I can like control Thanksgiving meal and I can be calm. Let's talk about number one before the Thanksgiving turkey. Let's talk about my aunt's jello mold. Okay, so it's this family staple. I made the jello mold. That was the first thing I did because that has to chill overnight. Everything was going great until I made the fatal mistake of moving the jello mold in a 10 container without something underneath it. And I recall that there's been a couple times where my aunt has done this, and I think where she has tried to move it into the fridge and it ended up like folding and spilling all over the place. Well, I completely just forgot that and didn't have like a cookie sheet to transfer it into the fridge. And I was trying to move it in the kitchen, and like me and my guy were in the kitchen at the same time, and his kitchen is like a decent size, but we were both in the same space, and I accidentally like bumped into him and it knocked all of the jello mold on the floor. So he jumped down and he rescued what we could, and then I just freaked out because I was like, oh my god, I just ruined everything. It's 10 o'clock at night. We were putting the groceries away. There was like cranberry mold all over the ground, and it's like legit jello, so it has like that red dye, that food coloring in it that like stains everything. And so it was all over the kitchen. It got all over the refrigerator, underneath the refrigerator. and it just splattered all over the cabinets and it was a mess. So I kind of freaked out and had a moment. And so I basically just asked my guy to like just go grab some towels, and that I just needed him to just vacate the area so I could clean up. I just was like, it was just such a mess. And I was just like, you know what, can you just go do something else for a minute and let me clean this up? So I, of course, was like really stressing out and freaking out. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna pull this back under control. So it took me about 30 minutes to like clean up that mess. And we were able to save some of the jello mold and put it in the fridge. And then I felt like we recovered a little bit after that. And then once I got everything cleaned up, then I decided to just take a break because I was like so rattled. So that's why I was doing turkeys in the middle of the night, because I just was really stressed out about dropping all the jello mold on the ground and almost ruining like my key thing. So yeah, so having that time at 2 o'clock in the morning to be able to cook everything and not have anybody else in the kitchen, and I got the vegetables chopped up and prepped. So the only thing I had to do on Thanksgiving during the day was just heat up the turkey and just keep it warm. And we already had like gravy from the store. I was going to make it, but then I'm glad I decided not to make my own gravy. And the recipe was super simple for the turkey. It was literally just, I picked the easiest recipe you could get. And it was just chopping an onion in half, quartering a lemon, stuffing it into the bird, cutting half of a, big chunk of garlic cloves and throwing it in. And a couple of other things. Oh, I did thyme and rosemary, just a lot of aromatics. And then I melted some butter. I put that all over the turkey skin, did salt and pepper, and then threw it into the oven at 350 and let it cook for 2.5 hours. And it came out perfect. I didn't have to do anything. I just walked away from it and went and took a little nap for 2.5 hours, and then woke up and it was perfect. And by that time, then he woke up and I was like, come look at my bird. And he saw my bird and was super impressed, and he was super excited. So, and in addition to that, all he had to do, because he wanted to help me cook, I just asked him to cook the veggies, and I ended up cooking the mac and cheese. I put breadcrumbs. This is another fail that I did. And it said to broil the breadcrumbs on, just basically like for 6 minutes. It just gets it like crunchy and gets the mac and cheese ooey gooey. But I guess my broiler was too high, and so all the breadcrumbs burned. So I was freaking out over that, and I was like, oh my God, it's ruined. And then I pulled it out and I said, you know what? I'm gonna just have control and I'm going to find a solution. So all I did was just grab a big spoon, and I just was like, that's okay. I'm just gonna scrape off all the burnt breadcrumbs, and I'll just like put a new one on, and we'll just turn it on a lower temperature, and that will be fine. And I just like stay calm and put it back in there, and the rest of it came out perfectly fine. But I had like those 2 major like cooking fails, but I somehow managed to not completely lose it and start crying. As long as I didn't drop the turkey, that was my one thing. I just didn't want to lose the turkey. And everything else came out perfect. And, we had everything set up. We got Hawaiian rolls the night before. I got those toasted and I laid everything out. And we had like the best Thanksgiving. I made my own mashed potatoes the night before. And he was really happy. And he said it was like one of the best Thanksgiving meals he's ever had. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So yeah, and I worked hard on it. So it all came out really nice. And we had like, I bought this fall leaf tablecloth, and, I bought new plates just for Thanksgiving that were really pretty, and it just like all turned out really great, despite all the drama with the cooking and burning stuff and dropping stuff on the ground. I recovered and all came out good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this takeover. So that was like our first Thanksgiving together, our first holiday together, and we spent the rest of the 4-day weekend just hanging out. We worked on some projects. He bought a new television and we're for more future casting thinking. And so he got a new TV, which was great. And then it was all about Black Friday deals. And so we got a new TV stand, and it has a little fireplace in it. So I think that just got delivered. And so we're going to put that together when I come on Friday. And yeah, we just did like a lot of like little projects. We haven't done our gingerbread house yet, but we will. And just little projects and finding little ways that we can like donate toys. And we adopted two children from church that are less fortunate, and we got their gifts. I'd ordered my adopted kid, a toy on Amazon, and then I think he also bought a toy on Amazon, and we're going to take that on Saturday when we go to church. And then we saw another like toy drive that was going on at the UPS store, and so he dropped those gifts off today that he went out and got when I was sleeping on, forgot whatever day. I was just sleeping a lot, and so he went out to get like he went out to go get like a stud finder because he was gonna put the TV on the wall. Anyways, long story. So he went and he bought all the stuff that I needed, and while I slept on the couch and watched I Love Lucy, endlessly all day. So, and ate Thanksgiving meals and leftovers. And lastly, on top of the whole Thanksgiving leftovers, he broke down a turkey, which was a big help because I certainly didn't want to do it. And we salvaged all the meat. We put, I don't know how many pounds of extra meat in the freezer, and then I left some out for us to use in some recipes. So I ended up making turkey soup because he wasn't feeling like 100% this past couple of days. And so I made him turkey soup, which turned out amazing. That was even better the next day once it sat in the fridge, and then we let it boil down. It came out amazing. And we also did turkey tacos, which is one of our favorite things because we do taco night a lot, and that came out really good too. So I'm getting extra crafty and coming up with ideas and finding ideas on like the Food Network or on TikTok. TikTok's a great way to get good recipes. Just make sure that if you do find like a TikTok recipe, that you find the full recipe. That's what I learned with the mashed potato recipe, was that I needed to watch the full video and also the turkey video as well. Anyways, if you guys like this detailed Thanksgiving extravaganza, stay tuned. We are in the Christmas season, so this is the Blitz. The holiday Blitz is coming up with all the holiday parties, all of the performances, all of the work stuff that I have to do before I go on vacation. And then also my guy's birthday comes up in December as well, and so we're also volunteering in December. So we got a action-packed Christmas, and we haven't even gone into full detail about what's actually happening. So get ready for the whole thing with that. Anyways, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.